afternoon, everyone. I am Princess Virginia's I, and I am here to talk about what is global demography. Ano nga ba ang global demography? Global demography is a study of population. It changes over time through birth, migration, and death. And also, yung mga demographers, they used to analyze the population through census, surveys, and statistical studies. So marami pa kayong malalaman what is other things that connected to global demography.
Further information about the global demography. So first, let me introduce myself. I am Rasi Constantian Genibraldo. So what is demography? The word demography is a combination of two Greek words, demos meaning people and graphy meaning science. Therefore, demography is the science of people. So bakit tinatawag siyang science? So it called science because it is systematized body of knowledge in which facts are studied and analyzed in a systematic manner, and at the same time, theories have been tested on the basis by observation and experimentation. It also have a studies of principles as we go through this topic.
Let's back on Miss Princess discussion that the global demography, global, ito yung pandaigdigan, no? So, ito yung pangkabuuan o hindi ang tawag ng hiwalay na bahagi nito. So, as we learned earlier that global demography is the study of human population. It says that it is the study of population, especially the human population, their size, composition, and distribution across the space, and the process through which population change. So, when you heard about population, what comes first on your mind? And it's possible that the population growth might affect our food security. We're curious about our global population growth. So, to understand more, let's watch this short video that I provide. And so that's it. After watching the video, we observe that the movement of time period, or the movement of time period is also move or increases the number of human population. And as we can see on the video, the color yellow dots, it symbolizes the human population. So, population, what is population? Sorry. So, population, it is defined as a group of individuals of the same species living and interbreeding within a given area. Members of a population often rely on the same resources, are subject to similar environmental constant, and depend on the availability of other members to persist over time. So, sinasabi dito na yung populasyon ay ang tawag sa bilang ng mga bagay na may buhay sa isang lugar. So, ang populasyon ng isang lungsod ay ang bilang ng mga taong nakatira sa lungsod na iyon. Sinasabi rin dito na yung pag-aaral ng populasyon ay nakadepende sa disiplina ng demografiya. So, ayon din doon, yung members ng populasyon na yun ay nagsishare din sila ng same species living at yung interbreeding within the given area. So, the scientists study a population by examining how individuals in that population interact with each other and how the population as a whole interacts with its environment. So, as a tool for objectivity studying populations, population ecologist relies on a series of statistical measures known as the demographic parameters to describe the population. So, para daw maestado yung populasyon, yung mga population ecologist, ginagamit nila yung demographic parameters para ma-describe ang ating populasyon. And also, the field science interested in collecting and analyzing these numbers is termed population demographics. So, broadly defined demography, it is the study of the characteristics of population. It provides a mathematical description of how those characteristics change over time. So it says that the demography, it is the study of the characteristics of the population, which is provide a mathematical description kung paano ba yung characteristic ng populasyon ay nagbabago. And demographics, nag-i-include din sila ng statistical factors na kung saan makaka-impluwensya sa pagbabago o pag-grow ng isang populasyon. So, next. The population size, density, age structure, fecundity or birth rates, mortality or death rates, and sex ratio are some of the several parameters that are particularly important to describe the population. So, population size is defined as the number of individuals present in a subjectively designated geographic range. So, ito ay ang tawag sa dami ng mga naninirahan sa isang lugar or sa isang pook sa isang tanging panahon. And next, the population density. The size of population in the relation to the amount of space that it occupies. Density usually expressed as the number of individuals per unit area or volume. So density, densidad ng populasyon or kapal ng populasyon na kung saan ito ang tawag sa pamantungang bilang ng mga tao sa isang lugar. So for example, if the density is big, it means na marami or mataas ang densidad, marami ang naninirahan sa isang lugar. At kung kaunti naman, ibig sabihin, kunti lang rin yung naninirahan, di ba? So, age structure. Not all individuals contribute equally to a population. Occasionally, researchers find it useful to characterize the different contributes made by different individuals. So, it says that the age structure, it is the description of human in various stages. And it says that itong age structure na to, ginagamit ito as a tool for social scientists, public charge, healthcare, policy analysts, and in policy makers. So, bakit? Why? Bakit ginagamit yan dito? Dahil ito ang nag-i-illustrates no sa population trend like the give of birth and death, sa pagkapanganak at sa pagkamatay. So next, the fecundity. It's describe the number of offspring an individual or a population is able to produce during a given period of time. So, in simple terms, ito yung quantification no, ng bilang ng isang individual na nagdadagdag sa isang populasyon. At yung fecundity in biology, ito yung measure ng fertility. So, next, the mortality is the measure of individuals and serves as the counterbalance to fecundity. So, mortality, it is a measure na namamatay sa isang particular na populasyon in which nagsiserve din sila ng counterbalance doon sa fecundity. And last, the sex ratio is the ratio of males to females in a population. It is a proportional distribution by which nagdi-define ito ng number of male for 1,000 female of the population in a society. So, it means, ilan nga ba yung sex ratio or number ng male from 1,000 for 1,000 female doon sa isang populasyon or sa ating populasyon. So sa 1,000 female, ilan ba yung male doon? Yarn. And next is the world population from 1950 to 2050. So makikita natin dito sa graph na it is the world population, no? Pandaigdigan talaga. So pang worldwide. So population. So makita natin from 1950 to 1960 we have 3 billion population, and from 1970 to 1980 we have 4 billion population, and from 1980 to 1990 we have a 5 billion population, and from 1990 to 2000 we have 6 billion population, and from 2010 and to 2020 we have 7 billion, and from 2020 to 2030 we have 8 billion, no? So from 2040 we have 2050. So ang tagal. So after 20 years meron na tayong 9 billion population. So ibig sabihin madadagdagan pa tayo, no? So marami pa tayo. Madadagdagan tayo. Population growth. So population growth is the increase in the number of people in a population. So ayun nga, ang population growth, ito yung pagtaas ng mga bilang ng tao sa isang populasyon. Population growth affect our food security? Yes, definitely. Its increasing numbers of people often drive up demand for food, which typically results in additional use of arable land and water. The Food and Agriculture Organization projects that by 2050, population and economic growth will result in a doubling of demand for food globally. So, yun nga, the Food and Agriculture Organization warns that in order to countries to mitigate the impact of population growth, food production also must increase, no? So by 70%, annual cereal production must rise to 3 billion tons from the current 2.1 billion, and yearly meat production must go up to 200 million tons to reach 470 million. So, the increasing population results into increasing demands, needs, and services. Their needs are unlimited, but country has limited resources to fulfill their needs and desire. Population growth have adversely affect forest and vegetation, aquatic and terrestrial animals, air, water, land, and etc. So, yun nga, ang pagdaragdag ng populasyon o ang pagtaas ng populasyon ay sanhi ng pagre-resulta ay nagre-resulta sa pagtaas ng mga hinihingi o pangangailangan at serbisyo ng karamihan. So, if the demands and needs are no limitation, but our country ay may limitadong mapagkukunan ng mga natural na resources upang matupad ang mga pangangailangan. So sanhi ng masamang epekto, no, sa ating kagubatan, sa ating nature. Yeah. So mapapansin natin, no, sa pagtaas ng populasyon, ang ating our natural resources limitado lamang. So what is food security? So food security, it is the state of having reliable access to a sufficient quantity of affordable, nutritious food. So food security, ito yung access na mapagkukunan natin ng ating pangailangan na pagkain. So, yan lang po. And maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. And thank you. God bless.
Hi, I am Rodrigo Logroño Jr. I am here to discuss the perils of overpopulation. What is the perils of overpopulation? Overpopulation has become a humongous problem of almost all countries of the world. Ito yung pinoproblema ng bansa natin ngayon, ang pagtaas ng populasyon. It badly impacts the development of the country. It does not only give huge dent to the resources of the country, but also reduces the food insecurity. Besides, education, healthcare facilities, and law and order situations are affected too. Effect of overpopulation. More people means an increased demand for food, water, housing, energy, healthcare, transportation, and more. And all that consumption contributes to ecological degradation, increased conflicts, and higher risk of large-scale disaster like pandemics. Sinasabi dito na ang epekto daw ng pagtaas ng populasyon ay ang pagtaas ng demand ng pagkain, tubig, bahay, energy, gamot at iba pa. Dahil sa pandemic ngayon na ating kinakaharap ng ating bansa ay dami ng taong nawawala ng trabaho, nasa bahay lang sila. Madami na rin ang nagkakasakit at namamatay dahil sa kakulangan ng gamot. At naapektuhan din dito ang ating pag-aaral. At si Thomas Malthus, a British scholar, warned in his essay The Principle of Population in 1798 that population growth will inevitably exhaust world food supply. Paul R. Ehrlich and his wife Anne wrote The Population Bomb, which argued that population will bring about global environmental disasters that would lead to food shortage and mass starvation. Sinasabi niya dito na example dito ay ang pandemic. Dahil ang pandemic ay ito yung global environmental disasters that would lead to food shortage and mass starvation. That's all.
So, according to Thomas Malthus, like what Rodrigo said earlier, that according to him, through his writing entitled An Essay on the Principles of Population, he said that population growth will inevitably exhaust world food supply by the middle of the 19th century. But his prediction was outbased o hindi nagkatotoo. So it was classified, ibinalita, ni-revive through Paul R. Ehrlich and his wife. So because of that, they need proposal like the countries of the United States to take the lead in the promotion of global population control in order to reduce the growth rate to zero. So this is the recommendation. First is the chemical castration to the policy-oriented. So the castration that tackled was the use of drugs to lower the hormones of the male. Next, the taxing on additional child and luxury taxes on child-related products to monetary incentives. So the last recommendation, paying of men who would agree to sterilize after two children to institution building a powerful department of population and environment. So paying of men who will agree to be sterilized and thereafter two children, for example, that they already had two children, after that they will be sterilized, that they will not produce more. So, ano nga ba yung tinatawag nilang aging population? So, aging population means it is the elderly or mga matanda na. So, what are those effects into our economy? So, first, advanced industrialized societies are growing older. So, in 2020, there were 727 million people age 65 or older that this number is expected to be more than doubled by 2050. Over 20% of the population of 17 countries consisting of persons 65 years or older. So the second economic issues of aging population is the decline in the working age population. So meaning they were working large people that hindi nag-a-academy. So dumadami yung pagtaas ng mga taong may gulang na pero wala pa rin silang maayos na trabaho. So because of that, the shortage of food supply and making it more difficult to business to build you in demand rules and the economy that cannot build you in demand occupation places at first consequences, including declining product of activity, higher labor cost, delayed business expansion, and those international competitiveness. So next, the increase in health care costs. So it's given that demand for health care, which is rapidly aging population, must allocate. So that is yung problema, no? So if marami yung elderly sa company, ang tendency is that there's a big allocate for the retirement for the health cares. So ito na yung tinatawag nating GDP or the gross domestic product. So next, the increase in dependency ratio. So countries with a large elderly of population depend on smaller pools of workers in which to collect taxes to pay for higher health costs, pension benefits, and other publicly funded programs that is becoming a more common advance in economies where retirees live on fixed income with much smaller tax bracket than workers. So, and the last is the changes of the economy.
Good day everyone. So I am Mark Manuel. Today we're going to talk about the demography importance in economy. Number one, demography importance. With the majority of the developing countries facing the population explosion, the study of the population and its problem has become very important in the very share on economy. Number two, for the society population studies and much importance of the society with populations. Increasing rapidly the society with the innumerable problems storage of the basic services like water, electricity, and then sinasabi dito na malaki ang kahalagahan ng pag-aaral ng population para sa lipunan dahil na rin sa pagtaas ng population ay nagkaroon o nagkaranas tayo ng problema. Kumukunti na lang yung ating mga resources na posibleng nagre-resulta ng kawalan ng mga pagkukunang yaman ng ating bansa. So in that case, the demography is very important data that can help provided basic for the understanding communities or society as on our time now, where they being and where they headed. It can be a powerful tool for over time that for the needs of the street of the communities to guide planning, policy developing or decision. Demographic change can influence that underlying growth, growth, growth of this economy. Structural, produ- productive, productive living rates, composition, and investment. It can influence that low run unemployment rate and equilibrium in risk interesting marketing trends and the demand for the financial assist.
And that's it for today. Thank you for listening and God bless.